Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. In my last video, I was talking about how my training has been since moving, but one of the things I also want to talk about is how my nutrition has been, which has been really off kilter. And part of that is because I've been working so much, I've been traveling, and I've been moving houses. And for someone who works from home and also makes most of their meals at home, it's been really tough to be consistent. So I've been kind of thrown for a loop because I've been eating out a lot. I've been just grabbing whatever's quick and easy, or I've just been missing meals completely because I haven't had time. But now that we're somewhat settled, even though the background might not portray that, by the way, none of that's my stuff, even though I kind of wish that couch cover was because it's sweet looking. Now that I'm kind of back in the normal swing of things, I want to update you on how a normal day of eating for me goes. So for this, I'll give you the time, I'll give you the macros for each meal. At the end of the day, I'll give you a total intake, but I will say that I'm just roughly tracking right now. So this is just an idea of what a normal day for me might look like. So for me, wake up around 6:30. First thing I have in the morning is a protein shake. Right now, I'm using this Extend Pro Whey Protein Isolate because it hits the 3 Ps that I look for in protein. So if you've been watching for any time, you know this, but it's basically profile, price, palatability. And the importance of those will really switch and differ depending on your own preferences. But for me, those are the most important 3 things to look at when you're judging any kind of protein. And this Extend Pro hits all 3 of them. So number 1 for the profile, it has a really good one. As I mentioned, it's an isolate, so it has low calories, 110 calories, high protein, 25 grams per serving, low carbs at 2 grams, and no fat. So you have just pretty much pure protein, which for me is key because again, this is a supplement into my normal diet. And my normal diet, it's really easy to get carbs and fats, but it's tougher for me to be higher in protein, being that I weigh more. So I weigh 225 pounds as of the time making this video. And my wife's a vegetarian, so she doesn't eat a ton of meat as is. So depending on what we're having, it's just tougher for me to get in protein. So whey has been a huge boost to me and been able to hit my numbers. And right now, liking that Extend Pro version of it. From there, the price on it is also very attractive. It's actually less expensive than something similar from Optimum Nutrition, which is always nice because typically when you look at isolates, they're more expensive. Not the case here. And then finally, the palatability. I have both the chocolate lava cake and the vanilla flavors. Both are great just in water, quick, easy, down the hatch, no mixability issues. And again, it helps boost your protein in. It also has 7 grams of BCAAs total. So if you take this in the morning or around your workout or at night, making sure you hit all the numbers you need to at an affordable price. And last but not least, as I mentioned, it has chocolate and vanilla flavors, which all taste great, which is kind of the icing on the cake, if you will. So I like this protein so much, I partnered with them this particular video. If you're interested, you can find out more information about them in the description box below. So from there, which is again 6 to 6:30 in the morning, we go on to actual breakfast, which for me can be anytime between 7:30 and 9 o'clock. And that really depends on when my family is ready. Having a wife and a young son, we like to eat breakfast together if possible, depending on work schedules and whatnot. And for that, if I don't eat from the time I wake up to the time breakfast comes, I'm a little hangry in the morning. So that's where the protein helps kind of hold me over until we actually have a real meal. And for me, my real meal for breakfast almost always consists of eggs. On this particular day, I had 4 eggs scrambled, some avocado toast, and a glass of orange juice. And one of the big reasons I'm really big on whole eggs is obviously the protein and the fat, but the fact that you can really prepare them a ton of different ways, whether they're scrambled, sunny side up, fried, an omelet. You can have the same basic ingredients, but change it so much that it doesn't really seem like you're eating the same thing day after day, which for me is really easier when you know what the macros are, you know that it tastes good, and you know that it takes little to no time to prepare. So for me, eggs, avocado toast, and orange juice has been my standard for probably the past couple of months now. So from there, breakfast, let's say 8 o'clock on average is when it's been. My lunch tends to be somewhere between 11:30 and 1 p.m., depending again on my work schedule and my training. Do I have time to train during lunch? But for lunch, again, I keep it pretty simple. I have a sandwich and I have some fruit and I have a glass of chocolate milk. Now, on this specific day, what I had some whole wheat bread, I had 4 to 6 ounces of some turkey, American cheese, yellow mustard, shredded lettuce, a banana, and a clementine. One of the things that I like about sandwiches, besides being one of my favorite food groups, by the way, is the fact that, again, you could change the bread, you could change the meat, you could change the cheese, you could change tomato, onion, you could change the condiment if you want mustard, spicy mustard, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, whatever you want. There's a lot of ways to add variety, yet you're still eating the basic same thing, which again is key for any type of diet and consistency. Being able to literally stomach that in the long run is how you really make progress on your diet, whether you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, maintain, whatever the case may be. Having something that you know you can go back to and eat and never get sick of And again, adding those different flavor profiles by just changing some of the ingredients slightly is key for me. So again, I'll show you the macros for this particular lunch. Now for dinner, we typically eat around 5:30. Again, having a younger son, our dinner time has crept down lower and lower. And this is probably what's the most random in terms of what we eat. Breakfast and lunch, I'm pretty consistent, always have something around those lines, but dinner, depending on what my wife chooses to make or I choose to make, or if we go out, this can vary quite a bit, quite drastically. On this particular example of a day, she actually worked really late, so I was responsible for dinner. So of course I made meat, even though she is a vegetarian, because she wasn't going to be there for dinner anyway. And what I did is I actually used a recipe that I showed you guys a couple of videos ago, cooking pork tenderloin, which is great because again, it has really good macros, but it's also really easy to cook where you can just throw it in the oven and bake it for 40-50 minutes, add different spices, and it's good to go. This particular version, I actually used a beer-based rub, which was delicious, and then just added some jasmine rice, some barbecue sauce, which you didn't see, and then some green beans as well, and just finish it off with some water. So again, really good macros on this meal and really quick and easy to prepare, which is great for someone with a family and someone who doesn't have a ton of time. If both parents work and you have a young son, it's really easy to do, which again is key for me. So that's probably around 5:30 or so, which brings me to my snack, because yes, I may be 38 years old and back in my basement, but I still need a snack. And for me, usually what that entails is protein powder again, because if I haven't hit my protein throughout the course of the day, protein powder is an easy way, again, as I mentioned, to just get it in. And that's exactly what I did on this day. So another scoop of that Extend Pro protein. And then I had a couple of servings of Cheerios in almond milk with some banana cut up in it. And you can see the macros for this particular snack or meal, whatever you want to call it. And I'll let that sink in for just a minute. And I'll give you the full macros for the actual day itself. And that's where I am. Again, my rough goals right now are around 3,000 calories, 200 grams of protein, and then whatever's left over in carbs or fat. But I was able to accomplish that through these meals. And again, key things are they're quick and they're easy and they're to the point. And most of all, they're delicious. They might not always look appetizing, but they get the point done, which is the most important thing for me. So again, that's what I eat in a typical day. Big thanks to Extend Pro for sponsoring this video. Again, click on that link in the description if you want to find out more about them or whatever flavors they offer. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.